Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Balance of Opinions podcast with your boy, King E. Crush Glass, and Manila,
Na Vinci.
and the co-host of all co-hosts.
This is Free La.
So today we gonna get into the kitchen and cocktail debacle with Kevin Kelly. We've got a TMZ interview that he has. We took a little small clip of it, as well as his interaction that went viral on Instagram with the customers that were disrespecting this restaurant. After that, we're going to talk about Dave Chappelle's little small skit, or a little small thing on Netflix called Unforgiven. So if y'all ready, we're going to run the clip of TMZ Live, or freaking talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about before we set off the clip.
Okay, so it is for, last week and a half ago, Dallas restaurant owner, his name is Kevin Kelly, of True Kitchen and Cocktails. So there's a viral video out there. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. And he seemingly goes off on a few tables, actually, of some patrons in the restaurant. And he received a lot of backlash for it. So we're going to watch a clip of him speaking with TMZ after the backlash, just about why he reacted the way he did, and the purpose of his establishment. And then we'll kind of get into a discussion here, me and the guys, about what we think or what our perspective of it is. So run that clip.
It seems like you have a particular problem with twerking.
Well, let me explain. First of all, I don't have a particular problem with twerking. At our restaurant, you're always going to hear music because we want to make sure that it's a constant positive vibe for our guests. We don't want guests standing up in their seats, grabbing glass and twerking on glass. For those who like twerking, we don't have a problem with it. There's lots of nightclubs people do it at. They do it in their home. Our restaurant is one where my mother eats at, my grandmother eats there. My sons work there, and we want to make sure we keep a good environment. And so I'm not here to make any indictment on people who twerk, because it gives people a good time, but that's just not something that I can have in my restaurant.
All this twerking, take it to crime, take it to pink, don't bring it here, because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies, and I want men to show respect for themselves, for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves, and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get our restaurant, because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture.
Let me start off like this, okay?
Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with what he says,
Mm-hmm.
right? I absolutely see nothing wrong with what he said. The guy just wants respect for his restaurant, right? And like he said, he's telling the guys to respect the ladies, so how can he tell them exactly what he said if they're doing that?
Well, and not only that, he's saying that he has an expectation that the men who go to his restaurant will just respect themselves, period.
Yes.
Right? When I was kind of doing a little bit of research on here and seeing what I could find, he does have a pretty strict, even a dress code for the restaurant, which I think is fair. This is an ambiance that he wants to create. And exactly, he's asking men, there's no do-rags in there. There's no hats in there. There's certain, pieces of etiquette that he wants people to carry themselves with while they're inside his restaurant. And I think that should go across the board. So he's not saying don't come in here and don't enjoy this music, but to the point where you're twerking and standing on the furniture,
Mm-hmm.
you're not at home.
Yeah.
You're not at your auntie's house, where maybe it's okay for you to, get on the couch in a handstand and bust it down. But that's not where you are, right? So in him having to go back multiple times and asking these few tables of women to please tone it down, I think, at what point in time is it too much? Did he allow them to go on, for the rest of the evening, and then have the other patrons kind of disappointed and maybe not want to return?
Yeah. For me personally, this is a black-owned business.
Right.
So when he goes, 75% of my customers are women. What he's trying to say is not just to the people who are doing it, but the people that are there witnessing these people doing it. I don't know if they said anything to them, but the fact that the owner had to come out there multiple times and say something that, listen, the other people there, they're there to eat their meal. But if you're there to eat your meal, do you want to see somebody twerking? So why don't you say something, or you know what I mean, back the owner up to let people know, like, listen, this isn't Club Live. This is a restaurant where there's probably kids, old people. This is all during the pandemic too. Like, you notice, ain't nobody in there wearing a mask. So it's like he's trying to give y'all a comfortable space for black people, because he says that, he says, I'm doing this for the culture. So if y'all can't respect me and my business, get out. There's nothing wrong with that, but people are saying, "Oh, well, the food took too long to come, and he shouldn't have addressed everybody in the room." Damn right, he should have addressed everybody in the room, because everybody else, even though there's only 3 tables, what happened to the other 10 tables that sat there watching that? Could nobody say, "Hey, you guys, he came out here once already. You know, you think you want? I'm trying to eat my meal here. I don't want to see you shaking your booty and all that stuff. I'm here to eat a meal, enjoy time with my family, and go about my business." Now, the music he's playing, and what? There's tons of
Yeah.
times I've been places where I heard music I would turn up to on a regular basis in the club. I'm not in the mall doing break dancing on the floor when I hear Run DMC, trying to do head spins and windmills in the Nike store, because I'm playing something I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So like it's not even that he wanted them to have respect for his restaurant. He wanted them to have respect for themselves, and he's dang straight. Because guess what? If a man seen a girl twerking in there and he went up and smacked her butt, guess what happens?
Yeah.
Lawsuit.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not saying that she should be twerking, but you are enticing that type of behavior to come in your area.
Mhm.
So if you don't want no parts of that, don't do it. Plus, they put their hands on the glass. Like, are you serious? If I was the owner, that video would have been viral on the first time. I would have came out there like, yo, you, and you out. Oh, it's okay. We cover your bill. You ain't even got to pay your bill. Get up out of here.
Yeah.
Don't come back. You know what I mean? Let the door hit you on the way out. So I don't believe that he should get any backlash. Yet again, it's during COVID. Like, it's in Dallas. You see how many people are in there as that guy's yelling. And it's not like he asked for somebody to take the video. Somebody took the video on the slide and
Mhm.
sent it out. So it's not like
Yeah.
he had any preordained thoughts of trying to get, you know what I mean, some type of viral video out or show people what he does in his restaurant. This is a case where he got caught being honest.
Being
Yeah.
human. Yeah.
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 You know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree with you, man. Whatever, 100%. I totally agree with you. And the whole thing about him attacking black woman, that's just ridiculous. That part is just ridiculous. I think sometimes with her people, when it's not necessary, we like to run.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. We like to run and we like to jump and we like to play that card. You know, in this situation, absolutely not. What's wrong with a man telling you to have respect for yourself, respect for everyone else in his establishment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, had it been that the restaurant owner was a woman, I think now that narrative still would have been the same, that she's the female business owner is attacking black women. Black women don't support each other, ray. But if it was my restaurant and I've had to come out twice, right, to ask you to first come off of my table, get off of my chair as you're twerking, because another very valid point is, if that person was to hurt themselves or anybody else in that, then it would have been the restaurant owner didn't do anything to protect us. Lawsuit. Although I was standing on the furniture and twerking up against this piece of glass, well, they didn't construct the building properly, so therefore lawsuit. Right? So it's not only about respecting where you are, time and place, but also just the liability that this business owner, you know, could have potentially faced, right? And from what I understand in America, you can sue for just about anything. So that threat is very, very real. You know, this business owner, he opened during the pandemic.
Yeah.
He's only been open for a few months, right? So I think he's at a critical mass and a critical point in the building and establishing of this business. So there is not very much room for error, especially, you know, in the middle of a pandemic. And now you're having people potentially putting themselves and everyone else at risk of physical harm. And then, you know, the chant is out there, this guy's attacking Black women and he should lose his business and cancel this and cancel that. They don't all line up for me. Like the alignment of him attacking Black women, where? It's telling you, get off of my things and stop twerking in here. There's places where you can go to do that. This isn't the place.
And to be fair, I agree with you, Free, 100%. To be fair, I didn't see one thing he did wrong or say wrong. I heard him said the F word, and everybody's like, oh my God, wow. Of course he has the right. He went out there multiple times, and you disrespect him over and over. He went back and did it, and he asked nicely, right? You saw in the video when he went over there, it was like, you know, little praying hands, you know, and the guy's just fed up. That's his business. You on his furniture and everything. So I don't see why
Yeah.
this is just shows you how society is so damn sensitive now. It's ridiculous.
I mean, let's be honest here, okay? Let's start with the main thing: accountability and responsibility.
Mhm.
Now, he held them accountable.
Yeah.
People who weren't there are supposed to be the responsible ones saying, you know what, if I own a business, forget if it's a Black owned business, let's just say any business. You can't go into a Chinese food restaurant and start twerking. They ain't gonna allow it. That's not the place for it. So for one, these young ladies or these ladies weren't responsible enough to know we're not at Club Live. We ain't at no strip club. We're not popping bottles, okay? You shouldn't be twerking. That looked like it was a family restaurant, not just a Black-owned restaurant. It looked like it was a family restaurant. So first, you're disrespecting the man's place. Secondly, the man says straight, my business comes for 75% women. How am I supposed to tell these men here, yet again, we're going to use those two words, right? To be accountable and responsible if you're not going to do that. So at the end of the day, they can all jump off a bridge with their cancel culture. This is somebody's business. If it was your business, these people who say it needs to be canceled, if it was your business, you'd be acting the exact same way. Because guess what? It's his blood, his sweat, his tears, his idea. He had to go get the loan or get the money to get that establishment put up. Now, if he puts it up and he comes out there the first time and says, can you please stop doing that? Then he comes out the second time and he's like, yo, come on now. The third time, you should be lucky that's all he did. Because me, I probably would have got charged. I would have yoked them up, and they out the building.
Yeah.
There's kids, there's grandparents, there's people here that are here trying to enjoy the atmosphere and eat food and conversate. Ain't nobody here to see no girl twerking. And the fact that it was 3 tables doing it, and yet again, for everybody in that building, including him, he was the only one that was accountable and responsible, because the other tables that allowed those 3 tables or those 3 groups of people to continue with the shenanigans, knowing that the man came up there twice to address that table, yeah, he's going to address everybody because everybody in that building is accountable. Because if you don't want this, like, think about this way, okay? Let's say he didn't say nothing, and people leave that restaurant and they go, oh, yeah, man, bad atmosphere. People were twerking. That hurts his business. That hurts his business.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like we're living in a world right now where people don't want to be accountable and they don't want to be responsible. And it's just not, it's not cute.
Well, yeah, no, it seems like a lot of people, in terms of accountability, they got called out, unfortunately, you know. The reaction they didn't get was the business owner like, hey, everybody take a video and let's all video these women twerking, right? It's because of the attention that they did get wasn't positive. And I
Yeah.
use that word, you know what I mean? But it wasn't a positive form of attention. It was, yo, okay, I'm done now. And so are you. Get out of my establishment. And now it's an issue. But had he come out there and said, yeah, this is exactly what true kitchen and cocktails is all about, and filmed them and video them and ray, and given them props, nobody would have had an issue. Or would they? You know, some of those patrons would have been like, really? This is okay. After today, I'm done. He's here glorifying these women disrespecting themselves. There's a potential that people would have thought that had he went that way, and then still he would have lost business. So at least he's keeping his integrity and the true direction of what he wants his business to be. He can't be wrong for that. You know, and if the music just sweets you so much that you just can't help yourself, you know, or you're hungry because the food potentially was taking so long that you have to what, twerk away the belly burn of hunger. It just, then those are the things you have to do. But he's already told you now, and for everybody in the area, this isn't the place to do it. Not like that.
You know, like you said, they got called out. So I don't think the food thing was true. I think they're just using that because, you know, they got called out. And they got called out for twerking and disrespecting the man. So they're going to come up with something to defend themselves.
Mhm.
Well, let's just be real. You know, I think we said it. You said it, and King said it. There's a time and a place for it.
Yep.
You know, and I think this twerking thing is just a little bit too much. You know, because you don't want to be going places where your little kid, you know, your daughter, you know,
Mhm.
King, your little daughter there, your little daughter, and you just there at a little kid, because you've seen it, the little kids functions. And you go there and you see people just twerking, you know, take off their pants and then twerking. You don't want to go into a grocery store and see somebody twerking.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for it. You know, it's too much, man. Too much. And I think this guy took backlash he does not deserve, and it makes me sick, honestly.
I think that the beauty that I've found in kind of looking up whatever else I could find on this is that, you know, the initial backlash was there. Everyone was shocked. You know, people were saying, why address the whole room? It's an attack on Black women. He should be canceled, blah, blah, blah. But since then, he has received a lot of love. And, you know, now they're inundated with reservation requests for the foreseeable future.
That's
He's
good.
going to be all right. And I think that's actually wonderful because people are really seeing what was going on,
Yeah.
not taking this hypersensitive route or trying to make it about something that it wasn't.
Mhm.
So, you know, I think who his target market was or is when he initially started this business, they've already seen how and why, and they're drawn to his business as a result of this viral video. When I think initially it was just sent out for a shock value and then potentially turned into more of a smear campaign. And neither of those two things happened, thankfully. And that's because, you know, he came out there with the integrity of his business in mind and the comfort and the safety of his patrons.
Yeah, I mean, TMZ tried to walk him into a crazy question. They go, "Oh, what are you against twerking?" Like, let's be honest, okay? It has nothing to do with being against twerking. But you don't. Okay, if I go to Red Lobster, I smoke weed. Is it appropriate for me to light the fucking joint up inside the fucking building? Oh, I'm waiting on my food. I just need to get right. No, I go outside. I walk down the block. I smoke it. I come back. Everything's good. When they were smoking allowed in restaurants, because I used to work at Hooters, you know what I mean? You couldn't just light up anything you want. Yeah, you had your cigarette, you had your beer, you know what I'm saying? But you had to be respectful of the establishment that you're in. And I'm happy that he's getting tons and tons of reservations because those people are seeing exactly what his intentions were, which is this is a family built restaurant for us Black people as a culture, and here's a place where we can come and enjoy ourselves without somebody staring at us or somebody asking us, oh, well, who's going to take the bill? Or any of that stupid shenanigans that may happen in America and across the world, right? He is a black businessman. We've been crying, oh, we need black businesses to be run. So when somebody has a black business, why are you going to go over there and disrespect
Okay,
it?
exactly. That's one thing that I wanted to hop on, and I'm glad that you brought it up. The idea that this is Black-owned business, this is for us, by us, that means that I, as a patron of that business, can go in there with absolute disrespect. Well, this is for us. So what you're saying is us as a culture are a group of disrespectful people.
Yeah.
So they're going to tolerate disrespectful behavior in their establishments, or they're going to tolerate, being inconsiderate and being rude. You know what I mean? People don't tend to have those ideas when it's any other business, right?
Yeah.
But then we are here opening businesses. We want to strengthen that black dollar. We want to keep it within our communities and circulating, but the patrons that go in there they have the same idea at times that other cultures do, that black means discounted, black means not as classy,
Yeah.
black is not sophisticated, and all those things. And then when you're bringing in that attitude and that aura about you when you're in these establishments, how can we be perceived, because we actually are at the exact same level as any other culture, when we as patrons are going into places and not acting that way?
True. I mean, I agree with both of you guys, 200%. You guys hit it on the nail. Like that was amazing. Yeah, it's just, listen, man. Like the more I talk about it, the more it makes me sick. You know, because you think it's a black-owned business, you think, oh, you can do that. You have the right to do that. Like that type of mentality that we have now, that's ridiculous.
And because he has standards, therefore
Yeah.
he's against things that are culturally black, such as twerking.
Mhm.
Hold on. Sorry for interrupting. Twerking is not known as. Who said that's a black thing?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not out here trying to say it isn't or isn't.
Yeah.
Like, that's something in dance. I think dance is universal.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but
Remember what I said?
you don't see them, busting down Tatiana when they're doing the river dance, yo.
No.
There's certain things
No,
that,
but
okay, maybe perceived as culturally
Okay,
black.
no,
I'll
but
take it.
free. Remember what I said though? I said dance. I never said river. I never said break. I just said dance. Dance is universal, right? So the twerk is something that you could say, okay, black people came up with, right? All right, cool. But this is a black establishment where he has a dress code. So if you go to a place that has a dress code, you don't think there's other codes of conduct that you need to follow by? I mean, when you go to a club, does it say dress code? Sometimes it doesn't. And their dress code can be something as simple as no sneakers or no tall tees. Don't mean you can't go in there and act ratchet. It's the club. They made it for you to get ratchet. Loud music, liquor, you're standing up, there's a dance floor. This is a restaurant. I don't know any restaurant that said, even fast food joints, come in here, buy food, and twerk on our tables. I've never heard of this. So like
Mhm.
these ladies that did this, and also I seen something on Comedy Hype. I wanted to bring it up. Shout out to I don't want to butcher it. It's a podcast called what was it? Something over 30. I can't remember. It was two black women. My point was they were saying that he was being disrespectful because he addressed everybody in the room, and he should have just went to those three tables or those three groups of young people and had a direct conversation with them. I understand for them that would make logical sense, but for me, somebody who is in attempting to build a business, and I've dealt with people who have businesses. If you have a crowd of people in a room and there's three people in that room causing problems, nobody else wants to say nothing. First, you address them the first time. Then the second time, you kind of be a little bit more stern. The third time, you are going to address the room, because guess what? It's not just you that's being bothered by it. It could be Patreons that are in there being bothered by it that don't want to say nothing. They're going and telling their waiter. Oh, sorry. Don't mind me.
Waiter or
I ain't
waitress.
smoking. Waiter or waitress. Do you know what I mean? Can you get the manager? Those people over there are still twerking. So nobody really knows fully why this guy came out the last time the way he did, other than these people were being disrespectful. But yet again, everybody exclude him. Everybody else in that situation needs to be responsible and accountable for their actions. We as a people, we need to stop saying, well, I did what I did because because what he did. Well, why can't it just be, listen, you were wrong. This is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I told you it's wrong. Your parents didn't raise you right. You ran around with doo-doo diapers all day twerking, and now you're old, 20-something years old, and you still think it's cute to be twerking on my furniture that I paid money for. You know, you do this at your house. You do this at Club Live. You do this where they allow it. This is a restaurant. We serve food. We have good music. We serve alcohol. That's that. You want to dance? If he had a dance floor in that joint, I can understand maybe why they were twerking. They felt, oh, we can just dance wherever we want. There's a dance floor over there. I don't really want to go over there because it's COVID. I'm not trying to walk around. Cool. But it don't look like he had no dance floor in there. It don't look like he had music, which is regularly at every restaurant I've ever been to in my life. They have some type of elevator, whatever you want to call it, music to lighten the tone or set the tone for the food coming out and, the enjoyment that you might have with people that you're there with.
Well, and especially in America, I think we've tried it here, in our little YYC, but brunch culture is huge in the States. You go with your guys or your girls, everyone gets dressed up, you guys go to restaurants and you have your brunch and the music is blaring, right? And you go, but that's because that's the time and the place for it, right? Again, definitely accountability, responsibility, and just look at the venue. Where are you at? And that just wasn't there, regardless what music was playing. That it just wasn't that place. And to take it, from here and go way left with it, to saying that he shouldn't have addressed the room and it's an attack on Black women and all this stuff, it was too much. I applaud him. Also, too, because there's a lot of business owners that may have not said anything, especially that they're new and they're trying to get established, and they're setting up a reputation for their business that they may not want, or God forbid it goes the other way and now they have a libel suit on their hands, from someone who got injured or whatnot.
For sure.
That's true facts right there. And like you said, King, for those ladies talking, I can see in the video, man, the guy comes up and he's sitting there and he's asking them nicely, and he done it like 3 times or whatever, and they keep doing it. I don't care who you are. That's your restaurant. You just start up. You're trying to build something. And like he said, he's trying to build something classy. And that's going to tick you off. I don't care who you are. And I think for him, he was very calm. Because if that was me now, that's a different story. I chuck you outside.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would have yoked them up. Like, me and staff members would have yoked them up and they would have got the jazz treatment. Door open. Like, yee! I don't care. You go call the police. I'll tell them you was in here disrespecting my restaurant. I told you nicely 2 times. Now you've created a hostile environment because I'm telling you something that you shouldn't be doing in my establishment that I pay bills for. So these 3 tables, okay, yeah, they're paying bills, but what about the other 10 that are there actually doing what they're there to do? Yeah, okay, brunch culture is a good thing. We got music blaring, everybody's having a nice time. But like I said, how many times do you see people twerking in a restaurant? When people are doing videos, when people are trying to go viral, and that's the problem with the society that we're in right now, right? Everybody wants likes. I mean, why do you think that video popped up? That person, out of their own validity, said, "Let me record this. I just got myself some views, some likes." some retweets.
A viral. I got a viral one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is there anything that you guys want to touch on anymore with this, or are you guys ready to get into Unforgiven?
I'm ready
I
for.
just
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm ready for Unforgiven. But listen, man, like you said, be responsible for your damn actions. Stop trying to blame others for when you're wrong, man. Just own it. Just be a damn adult. If you go in a restaurant and there ain't no dancing floor and it looks classy, go in the washroom and twerk. You see what I'm saying? Just go in the washroom. You want to go twerk with your friends or whatever? Go in the washroom, record your videos, man. You know, don't be twerking. Just put your ass in people's face while they're eating, man. It's too much.
Yeah, for me, I just, I applaud Kevin Kelly. I wish him absolute success with his business.
Yeah, for me, Kelly, double K, KK, respect to you, my guy. You handle it like a real G. You let people know. Listen, this is an establishment I'm building for future generations, for them to have somewhere they can go where they can be respected and be respectable. And he laid down the law about what is acceptable in his establishment. And if you're not willing to abide by those rules, then don't go there. He's not losing no sleep over it. Because for every 10 people that say, "Oh, I can't twerk," there's 30 saying, "Well, I didn't go to the twerk. I went there to go eat the food. So I'm good."
Yeah.
I ain't gotta worry about this rowdy bunch acting as if they ain't got no dang manners, that their parents ain't slap them enough in their forehead and let them know what's acceptable in public and what's not. You know what I'm
Hey, yo,
saying?
and the man call up the clubs you can go or the restaurants you can go to twerk.
Yeah, he
named it
did.
for you, eh? Yeah.
So I mean,
So,
he was instruction. He gave them the right instructions to where they need to go to get what they need to get done. You know what I'm saying? Now we gonna get into Unforgiven. I think it was great to hear Dave Chappelle be 120% honest about himself at this point in time in his career and in his life. He talked about the guy who tried to take the joke, or who took the joke from him after he thought he was being nice. Then he talked about the deal that he got, that he signed, because if you're starving and somebody offers you a cracker and says, well, for you to get this cracker, you're going to have to sign this piece of paper. At that point in time, I don't think you're really going to be looking at what comes in that contract. And even if you do hire somebody to do that, that person is now looking at the money and not looking at your best interest. So I feel like he was right in saying that they robbed him. They took his work and pretty much just said, yeah, we own you, Dave Chappelle. We own the Chappelle Show, and any content that you created over on this is ours, and we're not giving back a dang thing.
We own your name.
Yeah.
We own in perpetuity in the entire universe. I think something to that effect. Well, yeah, and he did say, as a young comedian, he's probably been doing his grind by that point.
Well,
10,
age 15.
12 years, because I think he said he was about 27, 28 when he signed that deal, right? So call it 12 years, give or take. He's going to be a father, so he has a wife or a partner, family on the way. He's been grinding, and now what looks like his golden goose is there, but the industry had an absolute ulterior motive, and said, out of all of this, because we can already see that we're going to get billions, we just have to dash him just a couple crumbs, but then keep him in this vice grip for the rest of his life.
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was real and gritty and honest, and I thought it was very good for him to do because it happens to a lot of artists and entertainers in all fields. It happens a lot, And for him to do that, that took some cojones, man. Yeah, and for the thing, like they own his name. They own his name, and I think the best part about that whole thing is when he said he asked Netflix
Yeah,
not to do that, and
not to
Netflix took
shoot
it
it.
down, and Netflix got his back. I think that was awesome because to see like a big company like Netflix, you know, that went that route to do that for him, I thought that was excellent.
Well,
Well,
hold on.
go ahead.
Yeah, let's not get it twisted. He explained part of the reason why he hates the Comedy Central, right? He goes, Prince. He's like, you don't notice when Prince came back, he came back as an artist
Yeah.
because he knew anything that he put his name on, these people owned.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So when he did the artist thing, I think that's when he started to own his own stuff. Like he was like, oh, listen, that name ain't on there. No, that's not the guy you're looking for. Sorry,
Yeah.
bud, you can have all that other stuff. You know, the fact that HBO told him we don't need you, but now
Mhm.
HBO Max is streaming what?
Yeah.
The Chappelle Show. Do you know what I mean? The fact that they said when he left that he went to go smoke crack. When in all honesty, I believe maybe he's seen what was going on, and also
Absolutely, he did. Absolutely, he did. He knew. Like he, I guess, caught on, right? You know, in his mentality, he's seeing certain things now, and he's like, yo, hold up. This doesn't run. This doesn't work. And yeah, who? And I know the money is enticing, but he also knew, you know what? These breadcrumbs that these people have given me, and I'm making them like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Then you know what? Y'all can have that. Right? I'll do what I need to do to make it. And of course, yeah, it was Dave Chappelle is crazy, blah, blah, blah. But again,
Mhm.
he wasn't willing to lose himself, his identity, or his integrity for money.
yeah, I mean, he was saying he was also saying the jokes were starting to affect him, right? He's like before he was just doing them like whatever, but then he started to see the way certain people were laughing, and you know what I mean. He's outside of the studio, and people are running up to him and saying certain quotes, and it probably made him feel uncomfortable because he's like, "Yo, dude, I'm with my family. Like, you see me, I understand. I'm Dave Chappelle. I'm you know milk, bitch, whatever. I'm rich, bitch. All that extra stuff, but." I am a human outside of this, but he's not the only one that's experienced this. We've heard tons of rap artists, musical artists, the same thing, right? They're making this music, and sometimes us as fans, we take things a little too far. You
Well,
know?
yeah, you see a lot of, it seems like the way that society goes or culturally, we see an entertainer of any sort. And I think it does go for athletes as well. But we see an entertainer of any sorts, and it's like for them to reach those heights of fame, it's almost like they have to, or we expect, you know, as the audience, that they put their humanity aside and they just remain this character that we're attracted to 100% of the time, and that's it. And that it's just virtually impossible. How are they supposed to put down their humanity for my enjoyment?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's so many fine writings there on these contracts, and it's sad that sometimes we got these young entertainers of all races and of all you know,
Mhm.
that don't have anyone there. So as soon as they see that couple zeros on that contract, they don't read anything. You know, they've been hustling their whole life trying to make something of themselves, and when they see that, you know, they don't take the time. You know, they see that couple zeros, and, you know, it's a sign, sign, sign.
Mhm.
but
You know,
but also not to cut you off, but also you have to remember, right? These agents, people get this stuff confused all the time. Listen, I'm only using this example is because I've been in the federal system to an extent. Okay, my defense attorney has a relationship with the prosecutor, who also has a relationship with the judge. They're all in bed together.
Mhm.
So it's the same thing that works in that industry. Okay, I'm the producer, this is your agent, this is the company. They're all in bed together because that agent that you have might have 15 other clients that deal with these people. So
Yeah.
they're making backdoor deals. All right, well, the stuff on this contract, man, I can't really give it to him like this, man. You got to make it look a little bit more presentable because I'm trying to get my cut. It works like that with basketball, football, all entertainment. These agents, the first thing they're thinking about is what they're going to get up out that bag. Then they're thinking about how to get you the bag that you need or putting your priorities up a little higher. But everybody in these entertainment businesses, they, especially agents, they want their bag first. If you can find me an agent that does right, aside from the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, you know what I mean? You find me an agent aside from LeBron James, you know, that does right by all their clients. I'll take back my statement saying that it's a snake industry and everybody's got their hand in your pockets.
Yeah. Wasn't that Ice Cube and what's his name, Jerry Heller or whatever?
Yeah, NWA, that was, but that was also Easy E too, right? So that's what I'm trying to show you. Easy E helped start up the Ruthless Records. Jerry Harrell's supposed to be their manager, and he's dipping his hand in there, and he's like, "Yo, Easy, listen, we can take a little bit of extra money." So right now, he got Easy on the take with him, right? Dre and them find out, they're like, "Yo, what the hell?" Easy, of course, at this point in time, probably doesn't want to say, you caught me." He's like, "Oh, and what? This is my company. I'm the one that started this company." Which, in truthfulness, it's true that he started the company, but without Dre, without Cube, it wouldn't exist. So yeah, even though you were the brainchild of the thing, you still need all these other parts to form like Voltron to build it. So don't be over here acting as if those other pieces don't have a substantial effect to the way the growth of whatever you're doing is going on. Do you know what I mean? And Dave Chappelle, like Free said, he's seen the crumbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right when he's seen the jokes weren't moving him as much as they used to before, and then he started to realize like, yo, these people just they're literally going to be taking all my stuff. For all we know, he could look back at the contract and realize what was going on. And said, "Skirt, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Before I give you any more, I'm done."
Well, yeah, I think it was definitely something like that. That he left, he couldn't handle it. But what they did was trying to make him look like what he was a crackhead, and he ruined his career, you know. But he saw what was up, He took time for himself or whatever. But
Well, he said he was a devout Muslim. Didn't really smoke and drink and all that stuff, right? And
Yeah.
it's easy to believe. Maybe he stopped smoking weed and all that stuff because I mean, at that point in time for the Chappelle show, he looks very, very sober. I'm not saying he doesn't look sober now, but I'm saying he looks a lot more stressed and a lot more frustrated. At that time, he looked very happy, like I'm having a kid, the show's going good. So maybe he was a devout Muslim, and then when he seen all that stuff happen, he just said, "Man, I need to take myself away." He went to Africa, smoked some weed, drank whatever he did, came back, and has been frustrated with the industry since.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it was brave for him to stand up like this. It was a bold move, to expose certain entertainment companies and all that. I think that was a bold move, and I think more should do it.
I don't think I wouldn't call it a Super Bowl move. I think, to be honest, he was just telling the truth. Netflix wasn't around. All this stuff happened, right? He goes into bed with Netflix. Netflix could have done what every other company's doing. Because remember, the only ones that took Dave Chappelle off is Netflix. Everybody else still running that.
Mm-hmm.
As if you know what I mean. So Netflix said, "Okay, we've got Dave Chappelle. That stuff's old. We know he's gonna come up with more stuff. It's newer. What do we want to rock with? Do we want to disrespect him and keep the old stuff and try to get whatever we can squeeze out of him new, or respect him and get more quality work out of him that's new that we can call our own, and let go of that old stuff of the past that he's not making any money off of, and show him loyalty and respect, and he'll do the same thing for us." You know what I mean? And that's what it is in business nowadays. Netflix is competing with Prime, Hulu, HBO, all those people. They say, you know what? Right now they're raping him. Now we could give him more money, and we'll probably get better content out of him, and he'll probably stay with us until he dies.
Goes back to operating with integrity. I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot tougher to do, especially when you're in a super competitive market of any type of market. But, and sometimes the come up is a lot longer to get there, or the growth, or whatever you want to, say. But the moment you really start operating and remain operating with integrity, the reward will come. It's just at times, yeah, it does take a lot longer, but it's because you are operating, in a truthful way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it even come from family thing. It even comes from if you got a family business and all of that stuff. Look at LeVar Ball and Lonzo Ball and all of that stuff, you
Yeah.
know, and the shoes and everything and money and contract. It turned nasty. I mean, that's something was being done to your own son, even if it was him or the co-owner. I don't know, but there was some big thing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me to be honest though, like Dave Chappelle, he's always been one of my favorite comedians, aside from Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and those guys. And I just kind of felt like this was him just letting it out. And I think that the content that we're gonna get from Dave now is gonna be so awesome. It's gonna
Yeah.
be so great. And I know he stepped into this almost like father figure. Um, what's the other word? Well, father figure, like he's out here speaking the truth, but try to do it in a joking manner now. Out of all the comedians, I think he's the most to tell truth type of comic. Do you know what I mean? Like he's sugarcoating certain aspects. I mean, you've seen the one that he did in Ohio with his hometown, talking about the date of his birthday being in in the part, or not in part, sorry, don't mind me, my brain's a little foggy right now, but being put together with the amount of time that Floyd had his neck being crushed, talking about slavery, talking about the cop who said, yo, these guys are corrupt, loses his job. Like he stepped into a realm now where, you know, I hate to say it, he's like, before he made the joke, we don't care about what Ja saying, but why are people looking at these celebrities to tell us what's going on? Dave has stepped into that realm now where, like, now we want to hear what Dave has to say. There's a shooting that goes on somewhere. Yeah, Dave, how do you feel about it? Because he's going to be honest. He's not going to sugarcoat it. He's not going to attempt to make it funny. He's just making it funny because he's using his own experiences and telling it how it is.
I find that he always did do that. It's just that now his delivery has evolved even more based on his well, not saying that anything prior wasn't actual experience, because it was, but now his real personal lived experience, and he comes from a family of highly educated individuals in terms of even what Black culture has been like in America. He has all of these great influences, plus his personal experience, plus just his God-given gift.
Yeah.
Right? I think as in a sense, an educator in ways. That's exactly what he's doing. Right?
Thank you for that.
I don't know if either of you guys have had the chance to watch him with Letterman on the My Next Guest Needs No Introduction.
No, I haven't had a chance to watch that. I'm gonna get on that.
You need to watch it. And it just, a lot of the stuff that we're saying now in parts and pieces, it comes really well together in that episode on Netflix. It's really, really good.
Yeah, he did really good on that. And I think a lot of people are surprised by him now because what do they think? Oh, he's just a comedian. What does a comedian know? They just want to tell jokes all the time. But I think Dave Chappelle has a very powerful voice right now. And like you said, he's becoming an educator. And I hope he keeps doing it, man.
His message always has, and I think in him, saying what he said through comedy, it was almost for us to swallow it. Not even so he's comfortable delivering it, but it would be for us as people, the audience receiving it, because we're like, we're like, oh shit. What he just said is absolute, is 100. But even now, as I'm receiving it and it's a jagged little pill, I can laugh about it now. But what he also does is he plants so many seeds, right, in terms of food for thought, that you can't leave, a live performance or watching a performance without something in your head now that you're like, okay, I never saw it that way, or good point. Or yeah, he said exactly what I was thinking, right? Those thoughts now are here and they're germinating and they're going to grow.
For sure, for sure. Um, if y'all watching this, I hope y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that smash button. Become part of the Noti Gang. We are going to be doing giveaways, but right now we need the interaction before we start doing any giveaways, all right? We see y'all watching, but y'all ain't commenting. Y'all ain't liking. The like button is attached to the algorithm now. So the more likes we get, the more this video gets pushed out there. So we would appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe, and become part of the Noti Gang, okay? Smash the like button. Other than that, though, let's get back to business. So is there anything else that you guys would like to comment about this Dave Chappelle, Unforgiving, or any nuances you want to pull from anything else that Dave Chappelle has done over the last few years?
Well, I just think about the Unforgiven. I just happy he did it, and I hope a lot of young entertainers like watch it and learn from it, and don't be so fast, you know, to just jump into that contract and sign it. You know, yeah, just that's all, man. Learn from it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's Dave Chappelle is going to be, is without, I don't think he's ever really done it or this was his mission, but he is a very, very prolific identity within our culture and the world, really. If you really sit down and listen to what he has to say now and what he has been saying, it's always been consistent. It's always been truthful, painfully so at times, but I think us as a society also need that truth, regardless if we like it or not. He puts all of us in check in one way or another, but also just says like, this is the way that the world is, or this is how a certain situation works. And like I said, when we were doing our top movies, my top movie of all times is Half Baked. This is why
Yeah,
I love Dave Chappelle.
yeah, and if people want to see how powerful his words is and how smart this man is, like I said, like Free said, go watch that thing with Letterman. It's very powerful. It's good.
Yeah, for me, I just hope that people understand that Dave is being himself, and that's what comedy's supposed to be.
Mhm.
It's not supposed to be this right wing or left wing, or do you know what I mean? Comedy is almost the last place you can honestly be yourself and just speak your truth or speak the truth about things that are going on. And we need to hold that dear and respect it. We can't be trying to cancel these comedians all the time when they might say something a little crazy. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but if I see a basketball player do a crazy dunk and possibly injure the guy he dunks on, I'm not gonna say bad dunks. I'm gonna say, boy, you need to get some milk. You know what I mean? Or maybe get up out that poster. And that's how we need to start treating things, because this even links back to the store, the restaurant owner too, right? Like, we need to respect people in what they're trying to accomplish and understand their truths and respect what they're trying to do, whether it's for our culture or the culture that they think we need to put forth, or just in general for people. Like, we don't have to make this a white and black thing. Let's just make this a respect people thing. Somebody's doing something, you want to be part of it, respect their wishes, respect what they're trying to do, and go forth with it. Because Dave Chappelle, like I said, when he said when he was 12 or 15 years old and the guy said, I could just take it, and then he goes, this is exactly what happened to me here now. He goes, the Me Too women, they're mad at this industry because of the way it fucks, and I'm upset because of the way that it eats, because
Yeah.
it's a monster.
Mhm.
We have to respect that. We have to understand that, because that is literally what's happening to some of these people. especially the minorities. You know, how many of our black comedians had to be in a dress, dressed up as a girl, before they really were taken serious? Why? Why is it only I? You tell me, other than freaking Robert Williams, any other white actor you seen dress up in the skirt?
Robin Williams.
Okay, you tell me any other white actor you ever seen do that. And Robin, to be honest, as a black person, I'm claiming them as black people, but for skin tone references, we gonna say he was white. You know what I mean? Because that guy was hilarious. He was awesome. You know, it was sad what happened to him, and like I was saying, it could have been this industry that did that to him.
You know,
I mean, because
yeah,
he was a
we talking-
charismatic guy, like very fun loving. He was awesome.
You know what? I think Steve Martin did a movie, and he's
Yeah.
a comedian, Tootsie.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Probably
Steve
from like the
Martin's
70s,
another good one too.
70s or 80s, but he dressed up in a dress. I just random things that Freeney keeps in her head. Sorry.
Free, you over here discounting my argument, okay? Stop it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, yeah, Robin Williams is good. But you know, I give a shout out to one of the guy who came from somewhere real, and you know he's a real comedian. Jim Carrey. You know,
Come on,
Jim.
man.
What do you mean?
No, come on, man. Like, of course.
Oh, okay, okay. You know,
And
because
it's Canadian. Like, you know I'm rocking
No,
with that through and
but it's not.
I
It's
was
not even.
about to go in on you. Like, what do you mean?
I know. I was about.
what you talking about, Willis? Huh?
No, but you see the original where he comes from, though. A lot of people don't know. Where's Jim Carrey from? Where did he start off from? In Living Color,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right. Those guys, Keanu Reeves and whatever. What's his name? What are his name? Marlon Wayans and Keanu.
Oh, Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Keenan Ivory Wayans and yeah, my bad. Yeah, but
You know
that's where
that
he.
comedy family. This is a little offside, but the Wayans family,
Mhm.
they are exceptional in terms of what they do, their craft, their comedy, their business dealings. Like that family, and they've stuck together the entire time. It's beautiful.
Yes.
I know it's aside, but yeah, Keenan Ivory
it's-
Wayans absolutely developed an empire with his siblings, and then they all went on their own trajectories as well. It was great.
Yeah, and you know, not to make it a black and white thing, but facts is facts. You know, like Jim Carrey came up around those guys. You know, all black comedian thing. You know, and he thrived. You know,
Yeah, he did.
thrived.
He did super well.
Yeah, he came out of there with a bomb. You see, so that was awesome.
Mhm.
Hold on,
King
I'm gonna
Gold
take
in
him.
Netflix.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Is there anything else?
No, I think
Got it.
we've covered the bases.
Yeah. And yeah, we did. But Jesus, stop twerking everywhere. I mean, if the song is hitting you so much, yo, Shazam it. When you go home, you can twerk as much as you want.
Twerk, make your video, put it out there if you want to or not, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just really it's time and place, but also too, I think the idea of every time or in instances when people are put in check,
Mhm.
to sit there and lean back on, oh, it's an attack on this, that, and the third. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because that isn't always what the case is, right? It's not an attack on Black women in this case. It was, I guess, if you want to use the word attack, it was an attack on bad behavior in somebody's establishment.
Yep.
That's very
That's it.
true. That's very true. And like you said, stop using it. Okay? Because when you use it so much and when it's really necessary, people are really not gonna pay attention to it.
Exactly. It's good. It's going to be the, one of these
Yeah.
again. What,
Exactly.
right? And then even when that's going to come from your own people, then
Mhm.
that really waters down what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve, because these, respecting Black women, that movement is so important.
Yeah.
But if we're going to lean on that all the time in cases where potentially it's not,
Mhm.
that doesn't help the cause.
Yeah, in cases where you just need to be responsible,
And accountable.
right? Yeah, exactly. Facts.
I wouldn't want to
Yeah,
be, I don't necessarily think I'd be like, okay, gung ho because I've been called out for something, but also I can admit that, if it was my behavior, then that's what it is.
Mhm.
And I just got to take it and learn. Okay, he didn't need to raise his voice. Nah, that's based on opinion. He didn't need to drop an F-bomb. Nah, that's also based on opinion because he is a human being, that
and it
has
is his
a
business.
lot on the
Mhm.
line right now. So,
Yeah, and
It's
your
like,
disrespect.
well, here's the
Sorry,
thing though.
King.
It's like me getting into your car, slamming the door. If you go, what the fuck you doing? How am I supposed to be mad at you? It's your fucking car. It's your door. You paid for it. If you treat it with respect, then I should do the same.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Just because, I'm in the vehicle and I'm whatever, or
not even, that's my homegirl's car. Don't matter. Billy, I'll be like, stop slamming my door.
Mhm.
you see what I'm saying? So trust me, I think we've banged it home enough. Accountability, responsibility. Accountability, responsibility. If you piss on the floor, wipe it up. If you say mean things to people, do not be surprised if they return the favor.
Yeah.
You have to respect others. You have to be accountable for your actions, and you have to know when to take responsibility for things that you have no other choice but to take responsibility for. Sometimes things can be 50-50. But in this case with these women and that man, that's 100% them. Because he never told not once, not twice, but 3 times. Anybody in there underneath the age of 5 that's doing this? No. All grown ass adults, right? So you think that if somebody tells you the first time, yo, don't do that, please. Second time they go, come on, man, I already came and told you, don't do that, please. The third time they're gonna go off the handle because you're not showing them no respect. You're thinking it's a joke, and you're not paying. You don't pay their bills. You don't know what they're going through. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
hey, facts, man. Like I said, there's a time and a place for everything, and it's got to be for you to know that as an adult and act like a responsible adult. You know, just like if you're having a kid's birthday party, you don't want some parents come over there and you playing a song and just drop and just start twerking in front of the kids. You know?
Hold on though. Let me make this clear, okay? No disrespect to anybody. I'm just saying. Sometimes people have birthday parties that aren't really made for the kids. For the
Yeah.
adults to come together and drink and do whatever they're doing. So, if we actually having a kid's birthday party, yeah, Elmo better not be twerking. Okay? Elmo might catch a left and a right. Okay? But if it's a birthday party for my kid, but it's kind of like an adult one as well, and as long as it's over in the corner, the kids can't really see it. I ain't too mad about it. Okay, I'm just trying to say I'm taking accountability and responsibility. That's the other. If it's a truly a kid's birthday party, I better not even see Elmo twerking. Like we go Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese better just be chilling. He can do a little Millie Rock. That's it. I don't want to see him turning around trying to drop it like it's hot.
Hey,
Okay?
well, what if you go grocery shopping and you see somebody on your fruits start twerking?
Then they go get slapped in their forehead with a melon. Like I'm not gonna use my physical hand to do bodily harm. I want to keep my limbs intact. I'm gonna take a nice underripe melon because those things is tough. Yeah, underripe melon and slap them in their head top. What are you talking about, B? Are you sick? You ain't gonna be out here twerking over my potatoes and yams and apples and oranges. Are you sick? I don't even care if you do the music video. Go buy
Stop
that stuff.
shaking your yams about my yams.
Oh my god.
Of course, definitely. But yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we get up out of here, though?
Good.
Yeah.
We good? We
Just
good? Okay, so
like, subscribe, comment, smash that button. Yo, it's easy. Look at this. It's so easy. Look, that's all you gotta do. Just bang, bang.
It's free. We
Yeah.
ain't asking for no money, baby.
It's free. Free la la.
Okay? So it's your boy King E Crush Glass and Manila.
Now Vinci, starve the ego, feed the soul.
And a co-host of all co-hosts.
This is Free La.
And like that, we gone.
Yo, shout out to Free though. She's rocking them Jews like proper today. Yeah? Yeah, show that.
Thank you.